Hi YouTube, I hope you're all doing very well. Today I'm going to be doing a quick unboxing and an overview of this Nokia C1. This phone was released here about in January, February in my country, South Africa. It's a Nokia's entry-level device, meaning that it's perfect for those who are on a super tight budget, or perhaps even those who are children and have never used a smartphone before. This phone would be perfect for them, or even perhaps the elderly who have also never used a smartphone before. I think this phone would be good without breaking the bank. So this phone comes in at about 1,000 Rand in my country. The price varies. I'll leave the links in the description below. So as we can see, this is the box of the device, Nokia C1. If we look at the back of the box here, we see that there's two colors of this device. There's this reddish kind of color, and then there's the black, which they call charcoal. So the one that I have here is the charcoal color. So if we look at the specifications, we see the phone is running on Android 9 Pie Go Edition. Now Go Edition basically means that the applications, the Google applications that are on this phone are optimized for these type of phones, meaning these phones they have low-end hardware. So you'll have Google Go, you'll have YouTube Go. So those applications they're similar to the original applications, but they don't have all the features. However, with these phones, you can still go on the Google Play Store and you can download the full version of these applications. So these applications, they're a little bit smaller in size, so not to take so much space on these type of phones, because these phones do not have a lot of storage a lot of the time. So if you look at the screen, it's a 5.45-inch screen, and it's a 18 by 9 aspect ratio. So this display of the phone is a 480p. So unfortunately, you won't be able to watch YouTube videos in 720p or 1080p. But the advantage of that is that even though it has a 2500 milliamp hour battery, which generally is not that big, but because it has to only power a 480p display, and also the processor is not so heavy on this phone, so I'm sure you'll expect very good battery life on this device. And then we have 1 GB of RAM, which is a little bit disappointing. Even though the phone is cheap, I would expect at least 2 GB of RAM. And we've got 16 gigs of storage, which is an upgrade from the Nokia 1, which was released about 2 years ago in 2018, which had 8 gigs of storage. We see here that the phone also has a 5-megapixel front and back camera with flash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this phone quickly unboxed, and let's see what we get inside here. So what we see here, we have the device itself, which I will just put it aside. We'll get back to this in a minute. Underneath that, we've got the instruction booklets, which, let's be honest, no one ever reads. And then on this side, we've got the 5-watt power brick charger, basically. We've got a micro USB cable, no USB Type-C on this device. And it's nice that they've added some cheap earphones as well. So that's all we get in the box. And now we're going to have a look at the actual phone itself. So as we can see, it's actually not black. The color that they said is correct. It's a charcoal type of color. Like I said, the other color is like a reddish type of color. And if we look at the front of the phone, this is the screen, 5.45-inch screen, Nokia branding on the top there. There's the flash and the speaker and the front camera. And if we look at the back of the phone, we've got the 5-megapixel camera with the flash, and here's the speaker. And if we look at the bottom of the phone, we've got here the the charging slot, micro USB charging slot with a microphone as well. If I can just focus, I've got the microphone, the bottom microphone, and on the top of the phone, at least it's nice that they've added a headphone jack. On the right hand side of the phone, we've got here the power on and off switch with the volume up and volume down, and and this here is actually a Google Assistant button, which is quite unique. Let's hope we can remap this to something else. Perhaps we'll have a look at that. And another interesting thing, so where do we put the SIM card? This is a removable. We have to remove the back of the phone here. So let me remove it for you, and I'll get back to you in a second. Okay guys, so I've removed the back of the phone. Just by the way, one thing that I missed out in this unboxing, behind this little box here was the removable battery, was the battery that the phone came with. So this phone has a removable battery, so I'll just put this in here, which is quite nice. We haven't seen removable batteries on phones for a while. So as we can see here, we've got the SIM1 slot right here. We've got the micro SD card up to 64 gigabytes of storage, and this is a dual SIM phone. So here is the second SIM slot. So at least there's two SIMs here plus micro SD expansion as well. So let's put this back cover on and start up the phone. So I'm going to get this phone set up and I'll be back with you in a minute. I thought you guys might want to hear this old Nokia tune. Okay guys, so I've got this phone set up. If you, just before I continue with this, if you do enjoy content like this, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel, and if you like this video, please like it. Please hit the like button. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. I'm on about 800 subscribers at the moment, and if you subscribe to my channel, it will really help. Share this video amongst your friends, people that you know as well. It helps me a lot. So here we have the phone set up, guys. We see the brightness is on full. We can see here from the interface, like I was saying, this phone is stock Android. So not much, basically no bloatware at all, just Google applications here. We see Gallery Go, Gmail Go. All of these applications are Go edition, meaning that they're optimized for this low-end hardware. They don't have all the features of the normal applications, but you can download it as well. So if we take a look at we have to look at the specifications of this phone now. So like I said, this phone has been released now in about February, March. There's two colors of this phone. There's this charcoal color and there's a red color as well. If we look at the display, it's a 480p display, which on paper is not that great, but when you're looking at it itself like this now, it does the job. It's a decent display. And this phone also has dual SIM, plus you can add a micro SD card as well, and it's running on Android 9 Pie. So let's just have a look at that. And actually when I switched it on now, there was a system update. So because this, it's by Google, these phones will get a lot of updates quite often. So there we go, Android 9. So it has Android 9, this phone, dual SIM as well. So if we look at the storage as well, like I said, there's 16 gigabytes of storage which you can expand. And here we go. So we've got, because of the Android Go apps, which don't take up a lot of space, we've got only 0.42 gigs, 420 megabytes, which are used by the by the Android Go apps, and so 4.07 gigs are used because the system takes up 3.7 gigs. We must remember something, guys, that with Android Go, it doesn't mean the system is Android Go, the Android system. That is the normal version. It's just the applications that are installed here are Android Go applications. So, and then we can see that 4 gigs are used, 25% of storage used, so about 12 gigabytes, just under 12 gigabytes that are available. But you can expand this up to 64 gigabytes. So if we take a look at the camera here, the camera, like I say, it's a 5 megapixel camera. I have the flash on there. So as we can see here, pretty basic pictures, nothing too great, but it will get the job done. And we've got a 5 megapixel front camera as well, with a flash. So front and back cameras both have flash. So this phone, in terms of the CPU, we can see it's running quite smooth based on the system not being quite heavy. So this phone has it has a quad-core processor, clocked at 1.3 gigahertz, and as I said, 16 gigabytes of storage, 1 gigabyte of RAM. It can shoot video at 720p at 30 frames per second, but you won't be able to really see it on this phone because the display is a 480p. But obviously if you put that video on a computer or something, you'll be able to see it. The selfie camera as well, you can shoot video at 720p at 30 frames per second. We've got obviously a headphone jack, which is something you don't see very common nowadays on phones now in 2020. All of them are removing the headphone jack for wireless earphones, but this is a type of phone based on, well, it's aimed at, you know, people that just who are maybe not so wealthy and have a lot of earphones lying around. They don't have the ability to buy expensive headphones, wireless headphones, because we know nowadays some wireless headphones are more expensive than this device. So we've obviously got Wi-Fi here, we've got Bluetooth 4.2, GPS is in here, there's a FM radio as well, and obviously we said micro USB, no USB Type-C. The sensors on this device, there is an accelerometer and a proximity sensor, no compass, no other type of sensors, and the battery is a 2500 milliamp hour battery. So here in South Africa, this phone, you can get it for about 1,000 Rand, plus minus. I will leave the links in the description below. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick unboxing and just quick overview. If you did, like I said earlier on, please subscribe to my channel and like this video.